Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Sam Hossack Media Podcast. Before we get things going here, this interview of the Sam Hossack Media Podcast is brought to you by Juice Plus, a line of whole food products to bridge the gap between what you eat and what you should eat. Juice Plus, the next best thing to fruits and vegetables. For more information, please contact independent distributor Shelly Hossack. And now, without further ado, I would like to welcome today's guest to the show. He is a former superstar with the Waterloo Wolves minor midget program and has been a star with the Barrie Colts for the last couple years and has even created his own clothing line. Please welcome from the Barrie Colts, number 72, Nathan Allensen.
Thanks. How was it?
For sure, and we'll get right into things here. Your minor midget year with the Waterloo Wolves, 30 points in 32 games. So just take us through how that season went for you.
Yeah, that season was really key to my development and getting me to the next step. I think the coaching staff in Sean Dietrich and the other staff there just gave me every opportunity I could have wished for, and I kind of just took advantage of every opportunity they gave me and just ran with it. And I think it worked out, and it got me to where I am today.
Now, obviously, after that season, getting drafted second round, 32nd overall to the Barrie Colts. Just take us through your OHL draft day. Who are you with, and how'd it go?
Yeah, so I was with my family. It was early in the morning, I'm pretty sure. We were just in the basement, just finished breakfast, we were watching it. Try not to watch it that closely, but we were watching it. And it wasn't that bad since I went was lucky enough to go in the second round, so we didn't have to watch too much of it nervously, but I still continued to watch it after just to see where guys on my team or guys I knew went. So kind of watched it the whole day, regardless. But yeah, it was just nerve-wracking morning for me. And then when I finally saw my name, it was just pure joy and enjoyment with my family.
Now, obviously, someone that was very dear and close to the Barrie Colts that we'd be sad not to talk about is Dale Howachuk, who was there when you were drafted. So just talk about what Dale meant to you as a player.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to have Dale coach me in Barrie and kind of be that mentor for me. I mean, ever since the day of the draft, Dale was great to me and my family. If there was anything you needed or just someone to talk to, you could go to Dale. He was like our dad's basically in Barrie when we played for Barrie. Just seeing him every day. I mean, when you play for him, it's kind of, I think he's kind of under the radar. For how good he was in the NHL. And I mean, he's a Hockey Hall of Famer. Obviously, his career speaks for itself, but I think he definitely is underrated to a lot of people. And just being able to have him as a coach and a mentor, it's really important, and I'll cherish that for the rest of my life. And just getting to know him, and I mean, I was really sad to hear, obviously, that the cancer came back and how that had to end. And I mean, it was a it was pretty sad when I found out the news, and all the guys from Barrie and the coaching staff and management. It was, we can't really put into words how much Dale meant to us.
Now, going back to your first year, take us through your first OHL game. Who was it against, and were there butterflies for that one?
Yeah, so my first OHL game was against Ottawa 67s. The first game of the season. It's actually home opener too. Um, so it was at the BMC, and I mean, it was pretty exciting. I've never played in an atmosphere like that before. had fans to that amount, and it was just pure excitement, and it was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was very nervous. But actually, I got the nerves gone pretty quick after off that game. I was able to score actually on my first shot, first shift of the game, which is pretty lucky. The boys bugged me that Douglas tipped it at the time. They still bug me about it these days, but they counted it for me, and it was pure excitement.
Now, being from Waterloo, how special is it to get to go back to the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, which is a historic bout in the OHL, to play home games there?
Yeah, I mean, Kitchener has a great rink and fan base, and being from here, I mean, obviously, wherever you're from, you watch your home team growing up, and that was no different for me in Kitchener. I watched them a bunch growing up. I even had season tickets. My dad would always take me, and it's just exciting coming back to your hometown where all your friends and family are. Um, a bunch of people get to come see you, and just playing in that rink that's so historic. Um, it's really exciting, and it's just as great as playing a game at the BMC. It kind of feels like a home game for me as well.
Now, a guy that you spent a little time playing with was Andrei Sveshnikov. So just talk about how special of a player he was with the Colts when you guys were together.
Yeah, he's. I mean, I can't really describe him. I mean, everyone knows the kind of player he is, and what he does, and just how good he is. I mean, I was lucky to see it as he was developing, and from to go back to think what he was and what he is now. I mean, I just didn't think he could get much better, and somehow he found a way to get that much better at the next level. But yeah, I mean, me and Svetch, we still keep in contact here and there. Svetch kind of lived around my billet house with his mom, so I would have to drive him home from practices or games, and he'd take me out for a couple steaks here and there at Jack Astor's after practice or games, and that kind of was our thing. But yeah, he could probably take me for a couple now since he's got a couple dollars in the bank account. But no, jokes aside, yeah, he was a great teammate, great guy off the ice, great guy on the ice. He just wanted everyone to succeed around him, and he made everyone better around him. And his game speaks for itself.
Now, back to this year, obviously, season gets cut short in March. So just take us through about that month and a half of when the season kind of got shut down after the game in Owen Sound to when you guys found out that it was fully shut down. What was going through your guys' head?
Yeah, so we didn't really know what was happening. I mean, we were actually downtown. We were out for lunch, I think. All the older guys that weren't in school, I think it was an off day actually, and we were just out for lunch, enjoying the day. It might have been one of the boys' birthdays or something, or we just decided to go out for lunch that day. And we were just starting to come around that time of the year, and we were just getting excited for playoffs, the best time of the year, really. And the boys just had a kick in their step, and we were out for lunch, like I said. And some of the guys that we talked to, obviously on other OHL teams, had a game that night, and they said that their bus was turning around because of the COVID or the protocols or whatever. And so that got us like wondering or worried, and um, you know, after that, we kind of just got word that we might be going home and the season might be canceled or put on hold. And then the next day, we got called in the rink, and we're taking our gear out, and our owner, Howie's coming down. He's saying, "Yeah, we don't really know. Just stay ready." And you know, we didn't really know what to expect. We didn't think it would be this long. I mean, it's almost been a year and still no hockey, which is very unfortunate for all of us. But you just there's bigger things in life right now, obviously with this COVID, and we just gotta stay hopeful that we can get back to playing hockey sometime.
And now, something that kind of was a personal project for you that you started a couple years ago, but really helped take off a little bit during COVID was your company, Paradise Puck. So just take us through how that started and how that's going for you.
Yeah, so I started it kind of a couple years ago. I mean, I'm big into graphic design and Photoshop, um, Illustrator, things like that. I love making stuff, and I'm a big clothing guy too. I kind of follow trends in the hockey world that and designer for hockey clothing. I mean, I love having like clothing items or having things that other people don't, just to make it unique. And it doesn't always have to be the most expensive thing. It doesn't have to always be the coolest thing. It's just different from other people, you know. It's just not being a follower. So I just want to start my own clothing brand because I thought I could make a design or designs down the road, um, and put it on a piece of clothing. I didn't necessarily think it would be hockey. I just started with hockey because I was bored, and to see that fans in Barrie are wearing it, and my friends, family, people around the rinks here are starting to wear it. It's pretty cool, and hopefully that can continue.
For sure. And the clothing company that you know a little bit is B Clutch from London, there, just close to where you're from. So just talk about how cool it was to kind of have them reach out at one point like they did.
Yeah, yeah, those guys are super awesome. Quinn down there. I mean, he's a great guy. Their company does so much giving back, and you got to support local during these times. I kind of hooked up with them before COVID. I kind of got my own discount code just to promote some sales and drive some traffic to their website and products, whatnot. And their stuff's super cool. I mean, um, it's basically around being clutch, which is a sweet saying. Their logo's sweet. Yeah, I just love their clothing, and they're a great company.
Now, before we get into some fun little questions here, a couple of guys asked me to ask you a couple things. So first, Kai Edmonds asked me to ask you why you chose number 72.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, so 27 was taken by a guy named Kai Edmonds. When I got to Barrie, he signed a couple days before me, and I was 27 my whole life. So I flipped it around, made it 72, and now we are here.
And the other one was Nick Porco. Ask him what he thinks about my style off the ice.
Yeah, Porks has got some good style. I mean, a bunch of us in Barrie, you know, like having style. Porks is up there for sure. Um, Cardsy, Brownie, Jet, me, Forey, Big Z. There's a lot of style on the team. We like to be stylish. Porks just bought some new runners. He always shows me his new collection. I just added some to the collection too. So hopefully we can get back in Barrie and start wearing them.
For sure, and we'll get into some fun questions here. Best and worst chirper on the Barry Colts.
Best chirper. I would like to say I would like to say uh Brownie or I would like to say Brownie or me, because the boys like to say once the ball gets rolling, I just can't stop, and I won't stop talking and piping up about stuff. And worst, I could say myself, and I'll just say myself. Sometimes I say some pretty stupid stuff, but it's pretty funny. It keeps the locker room light, and the boys love it.
All right, now next we're gonna go with funniest pregame moment.
Oh, there's been so many. I mean, our group's so good for that kind of stuff because we're the type of group that can keep it light in the locker room, but when we get out there, it's dial in time. Um, and I'm a big one of those guys that like to keep the room light. I got guys laughing and just keeping them loose. Um, before game, before warm up and warm up. But when we're ready to go, we're ready to go. But I can't think of a certain moment. Um, Maybe it was my first year. We were playing Mississauga in the playoffs, and we were going to Mississauga. I forget what game it was. Anyways, we were driving there. We were driving on the highway, and anyway, we were driving down the highway, and our bus wheel fell off on the highway. It rolled off. Luckily, it didn't hit anyone. But we were driving on the shoulder for about 10 minutes down the road with no wheel on. So we had to pull over, wait for another bus to come so they could fix our bus. And we had to drive to Mississauga. It was the biggest detour, waste of time, but our wheel fell off the bus and it was just rolling around on the highway.
Unbelievable. Now, you do a little bit of golfing in the summer with some of your buddies. So, best and worst golfer in the OHL that you go out with?
Um, Best golfer, I would say Cardsy. Cardsy is great. Is a great golfer. He's obviously played in tournaments and won them. But for worst golfer, um, I would say it's either it's close between Jason Wilms, Cole Schwinn. I would say those two. Kean Washkirk brought his game up a lot this year when we played a lot this year, me, him, and Schwinney. Um, but Washer was the worst, but he's better now. So I would say Schwinney or Wilmsy.
Yeah, Wilmsy's got to lay off the ranch nights, I guess, because that's catching up to him on the golf course. Weirdest superstition for someone on the Barrie Colts?
um, Trying to think. I don't know. I haven't been to the rink in a long time, Hosey. I forget all the superstitions. Um, I don't know. I would just say Hadfield. He eats a lot of weird stuff on game days. He's always at the rink um very early. He has all this stuff he goes through. He's just loves his superstition. So I'll go with Hadsy with eating weird things on game day and just going to the rink real early.
What is one thing that no one knows about you?
One thing that no one knows about me is that I used to play in golf tournaments. I don't think most people know that about me. I wasn't as good as Cardsy. I didn't play in the tournaments as high as Cardsy, but I have played in a couple events back in when I was a young kid.
Now, what is your favorite pregame ceremony or introduction for a team around the OHL?
Um, I think I don't know. It's hard to think of right now. I would just say Kitchener, London, just because the fans are so loud and it's just basically like a show there, kind of like Vegas and the NHL. It's basically one big show.
Toughest guy in the OHL to play against.
Toughest guy in the OHL, it's probably I'll go I'll go my former teammate Ryan Suzuki just because he's speedy. He can finish from anywhere and everywhere. His shot's so good, and he can change speed real quick.
Favorite and least favorite arena to play in.
Favorite is Kitchener, London, and least favorite is Owen Sound.
Player in the OHL that you faced over the last couple of years that you were kind of shocked that you were on the ice at the same time against them.
I would say in my first year, basically when like Radish was in the Sioux. Um, who else? I mean, in my first year, the league was so good. It was kind of just like eye opening for me to be out there versus these guys that were so talented. Um, and I mean, that could score against you just like that. Um, but I mean, our team has scouting reports. Every team has scouting reports, so you know who those guys are, and just like anything, if you know who those guys are, you just look out for them and defend them.
For sure. And now, what is your go-to NHL team as the NHL's kind of started up again? And how excited are you for the All-Canadian division?
Yeah, I think the All Canadian division is huge. I mean, you don't get those Canadian matchups a lot in the regular season or when things were back to normal, but I love it. It makes me watch more Canadian teams than I would in past years. And my go-to team's the Leafs. I mean, they're so exciting to watch. Matthews, Marner. Um, I mean, how can you not like them?
Now, who's the team DJ for the Barry Colts in the dressing room?
So the team DJ is kind of switches. It's either me or Brownie most days. I mean, I actually have turntables and stuff to be a DJ. I used to make the warm up music and kind of spin it together, mash it together. But now we got a team DJ and DJ Zoe, so he's doing that job now. But yeah, it's me or Brownie.
And if you're an NHL GM, who is one player that you would pick to start a franchise with?
Um, that's a tough question. I would go Matthews or McDavid.
For sure. And this interview of the Sam Hossack Media podcast was brought to you by Juice Plus, a line of whole food products to bridge the gap between what you eat and what you should eat. Juice Plus, the next best thing to fruits and vegetables. For more information, please contact independent distributor Shelly Hossack. On behalf of the listeners, we'd like to thank you for hopping on here, Nate, and we wish you the best of luck whenever the season can start there in the OHL.
Thank you.